All right, the official trailer for The Man in the High Castle Season 4 premiered like a week ago or so. And, well, let's just jump right in and start taking a look at what was revealed. So it starts with a recap, basically, of Season 1 through 3, a few quick shots before they jump right in. They jump in to Season 4. They show us Juliana falling through when she teleported, what I'm going to call teleporting, into the alternate universe. Right after that, we get a shot of her walking up to the Lincoln Memorial. So I'm guessing that wherever she ended up is close to DC. Yeah, I can't imagine that. I mean, it's probably Virginia, maybe, or maybe she ended up in Washington, D.C. I can't imagine she ended up any further away than that. Even John Smith, the alternate John Smith house, is probably somewhere near there, so that it's an easy drive or maybe a train ride to get to it. So she walks up to the Lincoln Memorial. She's clearly in the alternate universe because in the episode Yarnul, the Nazis went around and started destroying all these old artifacts of American history. So I can't imagine they'd leave the Lincoln Memorial around. We get a few quick shots. We hear Juliana's voice saying, if they can be beaten in that universe,
if the Nazis can be beaten in that world,
they can be. And then we get a shot of her. Looks like she's about to meditate. That's probably where she jumps back to her universe, and then she's talking to, I'm guessing she's talking to Wyatt. She says, they can be beaten in this one.
They can be beaten in this one.
Then we get a cut to a full-blown battlefield, and I think this is pretty clearly the battle that we're going to see happen in the alternate universe, where it's the revolt against the Nazis. I'm guessing that somehow they obtain tanks, things like that. They don't have helicopters. We do see a helicopter fly over in a later scene, but as it shoots down, you see some of the soldiers, they're running, taking cover. So I'm gonna guess that that's either a Japanese helicopter or a Nazi helicopter. I say that because later on in the trailer we see I think it's Keto talking to John Smith, and they're discussing the two empires. They clearly come to an agreement that they're going to work together to try to stamp out this revolt. John Smith even says, and I'm pretty sure this is in the scene where they're in the war room. You can see there's a map in the back corner off to the right on the screen. There's a map of the Pacific states. He refers to America as a rebel nation.
America is a rebel nation.
Now, this could be referring not necessarily to the alternate universe that they've connected to and seen. This could also be referring to the fact that America is a rebel nation. I mean, we were founded on rebellion. But his point is, it'll take an American to lead it, to control it, actually, I think is what he says.
Only an American can truly control it.
And well, because we saw in, I think it was season 3, it might have been season 2, John Smith is an American. He was fighting on the side of America in World War II before defecting. He defected to the Nazis probably after the Nazis dropped the bomb. I'm not sure. They never really got into that. We know that he saw the bomb get dropped on DC, but we know that he's been on the side of the Nazis for a very long time. But he is an American, so he's basically telling all these other Nazis that he's got to be the one to control it. Then we see a few other scenes between Helen and John, and she's clearly trying to convince him that he's gotta leave. He's gotta get out of there.
The Reich murdered our son. This thing that we have been a part of, it has to stop.
I think one of the last scenes between the two of them, he's telling her he doesn't know if he can.
I don't know how.
And I think that's just because he's so high up that if he tries to leave, that he'll be killed. but even before, it's a later scene in the trailer, but it'll obviously come before all this, is when Juliana finds Helen. We don't know where, we don't know how, but she finds Helen and is trying to convince her, trying to tell her that, you know, the man that she thinks she knows, she doesn't really know.
The Reich has built a portal to another universe. Millions of people are gonna die. And your husband is in charge of it all.
You don't know my husband.
No, you don't know your husband.
That this guy, he's in charge of this project that's connecting to this alternate universe, and he's going to try to lead an army to take it over, to basically take over an entire another world. I don't know exactly how Helen reacts to that. Helen probably thinks she's nuts. But hopefully, obviously, Julianne is able to convince her to go try to talk to John and try to get him to stop. Because, you know, Juliana, as we see in the trailer, Juliana is intent on she's gonna kill John. That's why she came back to this universe, is that she's going to kill John.
Why did you come back?
To kill John Smith.
Now there are some other shots in the trailer where they cut back and forth, kind of between the two John Smiths, where you see John Smith, the Nazi. He's in the uniform, and you know he's doing nothing specific, just looking off into the distance or whatever. Then they cut to the alternate John Smith, and in one shot, particularly, it's a quick shot. He's actually embracing his son in what I would call a extreme "I love you" embrace. You know, it almost looks like his son was reaching out to him, and this is probably, if I had to guess, Juliana has told him about this alternate universe where he's a Nazi and his son has been killed, and he is, you know, like, he can't imagine that. Another possibility is that this is the alternate John Smith who is seeing his son again and misses him so dearly that he's overwhelmed with joy and just embraces him. I say that's a possibility because there is a scene where John he's got blue goggles on and he doesn't have his Nazi uniform on. He's got a regular khaki pants, brownish color, and he's towards the very end of the tunnel, towards where you would walk through. Not sure if he'll be able to go through, or maybe he can see the other side. We don't know. We can't really tell from the trailer, but maybe he goes to the other universe and finds his son, and is able to, you know, at least have another moment with him. And of course, there's another scene where Juliana is walking. It looks like she's walking down that same tunnel. There's soldiers on both sides. So maybe she snuck back into the facility, or possibly the tunnel since it's connecting to the alternate universe, it's another tunnel on the other side. Maybe these are soldiers on the other side. Maybe she doesn't meditate her way back. Maybe she walks through from the other side. Don't know. I'm inclined to think that she meditated her way back, and then this is a much later scene where she's walking down, because she looks like she's kind of incognito. She's got kind of a head wrap, a headscarf on, and she looks like she's trying to at least be somewhat stealthy. There's a big crowd of people on both sides, so she probably wouldn't be noticed. And then we get a shot towards the end where Juliana is fighting someone, and it looks like she's trying to kill this person. But this doesn't look like John Smith. This is a character, I don't think I've seen this person before. They got blonde hair. I can't quite make out who it is. If it's anyone that we've seen before, or if it's someone new. Maybe she was discovered while she was trying to be stealthy, and because she's in she's in kind of a different dress, as if she was trying to spy or in hideout, something like that. And maybe she got discovered, and now she's having a kind of the fight for her life. So, but I don't know who this person is, but obviously she is trying to kill them. And then, of course, a few scenes later, it comes to the end of the trailer where I believe it's Wyatt asks her. It sounds kind of like John Smith, actually, but I think it's Wyatt that asks her, "Why did you come back?" And she says, "To kill John Smith." And there's also what looks to me like kind of a dream sequence where John Smith is on one side in his full Nazi uniform, turns around, and Juliana's looking at him as though, like, oh, here's the guy I've been trying to kill. I don't really know what the look is on her face, though. I don't know if it's shock, surprise, what. And of course, that's where the trailer comes to an end. So I am super stoked for November 15th. It can't come soon enough. I am totally looking forward to this. I want to see how all this plays out. I want to see if there's going to be a full-blown obviously there's going to be a full-blown battle. I am just curious where all this heavy equipment comes from. I mean, we saw tanks. Is that coming from the Nazis, or did Juliana somehow convince somebody in the alternate to find where this tunnel comes through and drive tanks through it? I don't know how likely that is, though, because the Nazis are all there. But yeah, we see tanks, we see machine guns, we see like mounted guns, and there's planes flying over in even one scene. So I'm really looking forward to see how this plays out. See how it all ends. There is even a shot at some point in the trailer where you see Juliana and Wyatt. They're coming off of a train. You can see the train right behind them, and looking off. And Juliana kind of shakes her head like it's something terrifying. In my opinion, it's kind of a terrified look. Something bad has just happened. Something really, really bad, and things don't look good. But who knows? I mean, that might be something that happens early in the season. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to see how this plays out. So let me know what you guys think of this trailer. Let me know if you noticed anything that I didn't. Go ahead and post in the comments below. And if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified of future videos. And we'll see you in the next one.